Hi there everybody, this is Susan with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have this card to share with you today with my Stampin' Show and Tell. So it must be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday because I try to be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to give you a new video tutorial for a project you could do yourself. So if you like my creations, you can subscribe here to YouTube to see my show and tells, or you can also subscribe to my newsletter. There's a link below, and you won't miss anything that I'm putting out there as far as promotions, bundle to goes, which I'm going to talk to you about today, and also all that's going on with Stampin' Up. So let's go ahead and get started with this project. Today we're going to be using Petal palette. It's this wonderful, beautiful stamp set that's in our Spring Occasions catalog. It's got great images and great wording, so we're going to use that today. It also comes with framelits, so you don't have to cut out your images by hand. You can use your Big Shot and die cut those. Actually, I'm going to take this one out and this one out because we're going to use those on our card today. And I put a magnetic sheet in the cover of mine and put my dies there. That way everything stays together. You can get those from Amazon pretty cheaply. So there's that. This set also comes with coordinating textured embossing folders. These are about half size. There's two in this package called Petal Pair. One's got a floral pattern on it, which we're going to use on the card today, and one has this vine pattern on it. These measure about 2 1/4 inches wide, and they're about 6 inches long. So you can emboss and then have a full strip on your card if that's what you desire to use. So we're going to use that one today. Some other things we're going to be doing with this card today besides die cutting and embossing, we're going to watercolor with our aqua painter. If you have blends, you could use your blends on that. If you have markers, you can use the Stampin' Right markers. We are going to watercolor today. And then we're also going to be using this very vanilla satin ribbon, which I just think is beautiful and smooth. So we're going to use that on there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started putting this card together today. I'm going to move it to the side. Hopefully you'll be able to see that and see what I'm doing as I work. So when you subscribe to my Bundle to Go program, the way I work it is you buy the product, and then each month I send you a new card kit creation for you to copy. So if you were to subscribe, this is what you would get in the mail. You would get a card kit with all the pre-cut pieces. You would also get a printout with photos and all the details, step-by-step instructions to make the card. You also get the video link to the tutorial like you're seeing here today, but only those who subscribe to my Bundle to Go will get all 6 video links. I only put the first one here to invite more of you to come and join us. Today we're using 3 greens. We're using Wild Wasabi, Pear Pizzazz, and Garden Green. Okay? And Very Vanilla is going to be our neutral. So first we're going to stamp in archival black ink. I'm going to stamp the roses on watercolor paper. Now I'm using archival black because we are going to use the aqua painters and watercolor these. And the archival is designed to do for watercoloring. So I'm going to do that there. And then the other thing I'm going to do with archival black, while I've got it here, it's on the very bottom of my card. I'm going to stamp my greeting. Give that a crease with my bone folder. And I'm doing best wishes today. I thought this would make a fun wedding card or anniversary card, so I'm doing best wishes. So there's that. Alright, now let's do some stamping while this dries a little bit before we watercolor. So I'm going to stamp the vine image, this leafy vine image, with Wild Wasabi on Wild Wasabi. You could also do it with your Versamark ink if you want it a little bit lighter. And I'm going to stamp off a little bit before I stamp. So I'm just going to put 3 of them, kind of creating a background on my paper. So I'm not really worried about which direction they're going, I'm just trying to fill in that paper. Then I'm also going to use this dot pattern and ink that in Wild Wasabi and stamp that off. And I'm going to put that right along the bottom. I'm kind of overlapping my words there. Get a little texture on there as well. Okay, so there's the stamping. So now you would take your Pear Pizzazz and your folder, and you would go to your Big Shot and you would run this through your embossing folder. And with the magic of television, I've already done that for you. So that piece is done. That's going to go right on our card. Then you're going to take the garden green piece that I have here, and you would die cut this piece on your Big Shot, and you would end up with this nice leafy vine. And then you take your watercolor paper and the outline for the roses, and you die cut that, and you end up with this piece. So we have all that to work with. And then you also have two pieces of ribbon. One ribbon is going to wrap around the card. The other ribbon you're going to tie into a bow. So let me show you how I do that. I call this the bunny ear bow. So I kind of split it in half. I make 2 loops, and then I tie the loops to make the knot. And then I can pull it through. I can kind of pull it back and forth until it's the size and shape and evenness that I want it. And kind of fluff it a little bit too. So there's that. And then I just take my paper snips, I bring the tails together, and I just give that a snip to make those even. There. Okay, so I'll put that on my card when we're finished putting all the other pieces on. Alright, so let's start assembling some of our card here. So like I said, this first piece is going to wrap around. So I'm going to take my snail adhesive. Now I've decided to use, on my card, I'm going to use the debossed side. So when you run it through, you get 2 sides. So if it's raised up, it's the embossed, and if it's pressed down, it's the debossed. And I've decided I want to use the deboss on this card. But when you get your kit, you can choose how you put it together, because it's your card and you should make it the way you want it. So I just take some snail in the back, and then I wrap this around, and I just tack it into that adhesive, just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to pop this up on the card with dimensionals. If you have some of your edging, you can just take off a strip of edging, and what I do is I overlap it on that ribbon, kind of help hold it down. I know, it's kind of cheating, right? But it works. So do that, and then because this is so long, I'm going to add 2 more dimensionals here in the center, just to give that some support and lift on the card. So now we pull all this off, this last one off, I hope. There we go. Alright, did that all come off? No, little piece left. Alright, so now I'm just going to position this on my card above my words. Have as much or as little of those dots showing. So there's our second layer of our card. So we've got our stamp layer, we've got our embossed layer. Now I'm going to add this leaf that we cut. I'm going to use glue dots. Now the glue dots are a little bit bigger than the solid leaves, so watch what I do. I put them on there and I gently pull them up. I'm just going to work my way around the die, picking some solid spots to adhere. Oops. Alright. Then if your glue dot is sticking out behind, just come from behind and give it a little roll or a pinch and make it fit where you placed it. That way you won't have its adhesive sticking on the front of your card, but your card will get adhered. So I'm just going to lay that across and press that down. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to put our roses on. You could watercolor them first. I'm going to put them on first. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to use dimensionals again. So I'm putting these on here. And so you can see I've stamped on the other side. Watercolor paper, if you stamp it the first time and you don't get a good image, flip it over, stamp it again. Watercolor paper is forgiving that way. And then you can use the side you like better. Okay, so that's lifted, and we're going to put that on right about there. Okay, so now we are going to watercolor our flowers there. Then we'll work on our inside. Okay, so let me zoom in for a minute so you guys can see what I'm doing. First, I'm going to bring in my Wild Wasabi ink, and then I'm also bringing in powder pink and Berry Burst. So I'm just squeezing my lids to put some ink on the lid itself. This one already has enough. And I have my aqua painter. Okay, so my water aqua painter. So there's water in the barrel. I'm going to zoom in so you can see me work on this image. Move everything up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so with watercolor paper, okay, my ink is nice and dry. With watercolor paper, a lot of times I will give it a nice clean wash with my aqua painter. So just water. And what that does, it helps loosen up the fibers in your watercolor paper. Does that make sense? Watercolor paper is thick and fibrous, so if you pre-moisten it, not too much, but if you pre-moisten it, when you add the color, it will help the color move around and give you that watercolor look. Okay, I always have a piece of scrap on my table too, so that I can clean my brush. Okay, so I have that on the side, off camera here, but between colors I will clean my brush. So I'm going to start with the green, the Wild Wasabi. And I'm going to add a little water to my lid so I can pick up that green ink. And then I'm just going to come in and start painting my leaves. So if you have a nice light touch and if your paintbrush isn't too wet, you can quickly move around your image and add shading with your brush to the various parts of your image. And if after it dries you decide you want to add a little more shading, you just go right back over the top and add more color. So if it gets a little washed out as you go, let it dry and then go back and add a little more color. So, and by pre-wetting that paper, it helped it grab the second round with the color a little more easily. So, alright, cleaning my green off. Now I'm going to go in with the pink. So, I'm coming in with the powder pink first. Okay, and I'm just kind of going to give the whole flower a wash of powder pink. Okay, and if you let your archival black dry, you can go right over your stamped image and it's not going to blur the lines or pick up that black ink. So I can paint this pretty quickly as I come along. Now I could leave it that color, or if I want to add a second tone, which is what I've decided to use, I can bring my Berry Burst in. I'm going to pick up some Berry Burst from the lid, and I'm going to go ahead and just paint right over the top of the powder pink, but very lightly. And where it is lighter, that powder pink will show through, and where I have a little more ink of the Berry Burst on my aqua painter, it'll be a little bit richer of color. You know when you have flowers and they come and they're a beautiful rich color and then as they open they fade? That's kind of what I'm going for here, is that brilliant rose, but it's been opened, you've enjoyed them, and now they're a little bit faded. So, there we go. Alright. Now, the only thing that's left to do on the front of our card is the bow. So we've already put down the first ribbon. Okay, I'm going to zoom out again. You can work. So now I've got the bow that I've pre-tied. So I'm just going to stick that on a glue dot and add that wherever you decide you want it, to to the front of your card. Okay? Now that has to dry a little bit, but that's fine. So now for the inside of our card, okay, we're going to have a liner. So there's another piece of Very Vanilla, and what I'm going to do is repeat the rose down here in the bottom. Oops, see, it didn't work out, so flip it over. Make sure you have enough ink on that stamp. Do it again. See, perfect this time. Alright, now I'm also going to add words. So this set comes with these nice words for couples. Put them over here. Okay, and that's going to be the inside of our card. Let me add some snail. So I often tell people stamp what you want on the inside first, just in case you do what I do and it doesn't come out clean and neat, and then add it when you're happy with your center. Okay, so, and then don't run your fingers over your ink because you don't want to smear it. Now, you could leave it black and white, or you could go back in and watercolor again on your Very Vanilla. But when you watercolor on Very Vanilla, because it's the thin Very Vanilla, you very lightly want to use almost a dry brush to do that. Okay? So whichever way you want to do it. You can color it, or you could leave it black and white. And then I've repeated that rose again on the envelope. So when you're done, there is your finished project. Pretty easy. Comes to you direct in the mail, so you can get right to it, watch the video, and then go to work. And it's your kit once you get it, so if you want to change it and make it different, it's totally fine. It's up to you. I have no rules. So that's it for today. So this is the first Bundle to Go card for the Petal palette bundle. So you can purchase the bundle through me because I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, or if you have a demonstrator, purchase the bundle through her. But if you'd like to participate in the 6 cards that are the Bundle to Go kits, which you would get 1 a month for the next 6 months. So you can get your stamps out and do a quick project once a month and really learn how to use the different images and do different techniques and have some fun, but right delivered to your door. You can contact me and let me know you want to participate. I'll send you an invoice for the $25 fee and we'll get you started. So I'll have all the details for this program in a link below. You can open it up, see the photo, see all the details, contact me to sign up. And if you want all the details for this project specifically, go ahead and contact me and sign up for my show and tell newsletter that comes out on Tuesdays. And there is where I have all the links and details for the projects that I show here on the show and tell. Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed today. If you have any questions about this Bundle to Go program, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to share them with you specifically. And until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye everybody.